Here are our targets for today's lesson. You should be able to identify factors of a number, as well as identify prime and composite numbers. So while you're watching this video, you'll need to pause it occasionally to either write something down or try a website or try some problems. So please have your spiral and pencil ready. First, let's get started with some vocabulary. You may have heard of the word factor before. Here's an example. Factors are what you multiply together to get a product. So for example, 2 is a factor of 8 and so is 4. Prime numbers have only two factors, 1 and itself. So 7 is a prime number because the only factors are 1 and 7, 1 times 7. Composite numbers, on the other hand, have more than two factors. So 6 is a composite number because 1 times 6 and 2 times 3 has a product of 6. And finally, we talked about square numbers last week. Here's an example. 5 squared is 25, so 25 is a square number. Similarly, 4 squared is 16, so 16 is a square number. Please pause the video and write those vocabulary terms down. Now we're going to do kind of a warm-up. I'm going to have you list the factor pairs of these numbers. So let me show you an example first. First, here's 20, and I've listed the factor pairs. And I always think of a factor rainbow because I usually write 1 and 20 first and then kind of go in sequential order. So 1 times 20 is 20, 2 times 10 is 20, and 4 times 5 is 20. So you've probably seen that before. That's a factor rainbow. So I'm going to have you write the factor pairs for these numbers. Start with 1 and 12, and then say, does 2 go into 12? Yeah, 2 and 6, and go from there. So again, pause the video, and when you're ready, start it again, and I'll show you the answers. Okay, so I'm just going to pull these back so you can see the answers. So the factor pairs of 12 are 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. I think you can see the rainbow. And here are the factor pairs of 16. 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and then 4 times 4, usually you just write the 4 one time. So that one looks a little bit different because that's a square number. And then 24 has a lot of factors. 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. And finally, 11 only has two factors, 1 in itself. So you can probably tell that this is a composite number, this is a composite number, and this is a composite number, but poor 11 is a prime number. Now I'm going to have you try something that will show you or illustrate to you what prime numbers can look like. So I've taken two numbers, 3 and 4. 3 is a prime number because it only has one set of factors, 1 in itself. 4 is a composite number because it has more than one set of factors. In a minute, you're going to go to this website, and you're going to actually take 3 tiles if you're doing 3 and 4 tiles if you're doing 4, and see if you can make rectangles. So when I take 3 tiles, the only rectangle I can make is 1 by 3. When I take 4 tiles, and you get them from just grabbing down here, I could make this right here. Remember, a square is a rectangle. Or I could make this. So that shows that 3 is prime. There's only one way to represent it. And 4 is composite because there's more than one way to represent it. I'm going to have you pause now and go to Google Classroom. So leave this video up, and there's a website called Toy Theater, and you're going to create rectangles using 7, 8, and 9 squares. This will probably take you 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to show you the next page so you know what I'm thinking you'll do. So you'll take 7 tiles, you'll take 8 tiles, and you'll take 9 tiles. I couldn't fit it all on one screen, so you can kind of just do it that way. When you're ready, resume the video. Okay, hopefully you had a chance to try these, and you put 7 tiles in one color, and then you did some 8 tile ones and 9 tile ones. So 7, there's only one way to represent it. You can see the only factors are 1 and 7. 7 is a prime number, so I put a P down here. 8, on the other hand, has more than one set of factors, and you can see that because I have 2 times 4 and 1 times 8, 8 is a composite number. And then 9 is also a composite number. It's either 1 by 9 or 3 by 3. And you'll also notice I put a square around it. Why? Because 9 is a square number. 3 by 3 is 9, so 9 is a square number. And finally, here is your assignment. If you have not finished the iReady diagnostic, that is the most important thing to do for today. So please finish it in class. And if you need more time, please come back at 1:45 today and finish it. You'll have 1:45 to 3:15 to work on it. If you finish that, then there's 3 things you're going to do. First, there's a prime and composite worksheet in Google Classroom, and you can just type right on there. The answers are below, so don't cheat, but when you're done, you can check your answers. Secondly, there's a quizzes to do, and I posted it on Google Classroom. I think it's 13 questions. And finally, there's a Big Ideas assignment on Google Classroom. You'll need to log into Big Ideas and go to assignments to try it. And you might be wondering why I have a Slurpee here. Well, that's because when I think of the first 5 prime numbers, they are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. I hear that 7, 11 and I think of a Slurpee. So that might help you remember that the first 5 prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Have a good day.